This is your startup for week number 6. The first question asks, which angles are corresponding? Okay, it is a multiple choice question, and you may not be able to see, but if you're looking here, it gives us the options. Hey, yes, I want a pen. It's asking which ones are corresponding, A, B, C, or D. Now, A part says angles 4 and 12, B is 3 and 4, C are 8 and 4, and then D part is none of these. So let's look at A part, angles 4 and 12. Notice angles 4 and 12, they're both in the upper right-hand corner of the intersections. So guess what? Those are my corresponding angles right there. I'm going to go ahead and go through and finish. What are angles 3 and 4? If I'm looking at angle 3 and angle 4, those are a linear pair. Angles 4 and 8, they are right across from each other. So those are vertical angles. So it just wanted to know which ones were corresponding. So the corresponding angles in this case were 4 and 12 of the options we were given. Number 2, line R is parallel to line T. So if we want to, if we need to, we can draw the arrows on it to show that because it does explain that to us. R is parallel to T. So find the measure of angle 5. I am looking for this angle right here. If I know that the lines are parallel, I have the angle of 130 degrees here. Notice that 130 and angle 5 are what we call alternate exterior. And guess what? Alternate exterior angles, they are congruent. If we have congruent parts, then we have equal measures. So angle 5 equals 130 degrees. Number 3, find the value of the variable if M is parallel to L. So if we want to find the value of the variable if it's parallel, we want to treat it like it is parallel to solve. We're looking at angle 1 and angle 5. We're given measures for angle 1 and angle 5. So first of all, we need to identify what type of angles those are. Those are corresponding angles. So think about it. If we could show that corresponding angles are congruent, then the lines would be parallel. So that means that angle 1 would need to be equal to angle 5. So angle 1 is 7x plus 39. Angle 5 is 2x plus 19. All I did is substitute there in. We solve x, solve for x. I'm going to do 2 steps at once. All the way across. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. That gives me 5x. And I'm also going to subtract 39 from both sides. It'll cancel here, so equals 19 minus 39 gives me a negative 20, right? Solving for x, I would have to divide by 5. I know it's messed up, but yes, we can still have that negative sign in there. Seems a little weird. Now, if you get a problem like this and you get a value of negative and you're like, can I really get a negative number? Plug it back in. And that'll help you. If they're supposed to be equal, then you should still get an equal value. 7 times a negative 4 is a negative 28, right? Let me use a different color. So if we're looking at 7 times negative 4, that's a negative 28. If I add that to 39, I get a positive 11. 2 times a negative 4 is a negative 8. Plus 19, guess what? I still get 11. Notice that they're the same. So that's a way to check yourself to make sure that you did it right. If you're still worried, hey, did I actually do that right? Because I ended up with a negative number. All right, moving on to number 4. Find the values of x and y. The diagram is not to scale. However, we are told with these arrows right here that we have parallel lines. So this line here is parallel to this line here. Okay? So that will help us. So now, this angle corresponds to this angle. So that means that 77 equals x minus 2. So solving for x, I would add 2 to both sides. So 79 is what x is equal to. We still have the same parallel lines in here. This time our transversal is here. So what does that mean? It means that this angle is equal to this one right here, of 41 degrees. How does that help? We have 3 angles of a triangle. And 3 angles of a triangle, if they are added together, will equal 180 degrees. So now we're solving for y in this case. So we're going to say 77 plus 41 plus 1. That gives us 119 plus y is equal to 180. So I'm going to subtract 119 from both sides. So therefore, y is equal to 61. And that is the way that we can solve for y in this case. Now, while we're here, I want to show you another way. Okay, I'm going to work it over here, but I'm also going to have to erase. We still have the same parallel lines, but you know what? Those really, since we've already found x is 79 degrees, or since we've already stated that this angle right here is 77, what do these 3 angles right here form? A line. So guess what? They are supplementary. Is that not what we have? 77 plus 41 plus y plus 1? Those 3 are right here. So that's just another way of seeing it. We can work it out the same way, and we would still get y is equal to 61. Number 5. Find the measure of angle Q. So our goal is to find this angle measure right here. There's where Q is. We have parallel lines cut by a transversal right here. So that helps us in a couple of ways. Well, if this angle is 41 degrees, guess what? This one is too, right? Is 80, 41. There's a couple of ways to look at this. Let's clean all of this up. We know that that angle is 41 degrees. But is this angle here and this angle not vertical? And do these 3 angles not form a line? So that means that 80 plus angle Q plus 41 equals 180 degrees. So that's 121. I'm going to just say plus Q equals 180. So in this case, Q is 59 degrees. All because we have lines. And question number 6. It tells us the measure of angle 1, which is right here, and the measure of angle 3. We're given measures for those two. Find the value of x for P to be parallel to Q. If P was parallel to Q, then we would know that those 2 angles would be congruent. So treat it like they are congruent. Well, if angle 1 is equal to angle 3, then I know 4x would equal 108. So solving for x, we divide by 4. So x is equal to 27. And that is your startup for week number 6.